Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday, so that means it's Pop and Bravo. And I've got a good friend here to talk about pop culture and mostly Bravo, and it's Gibson Johns. Hey, Gibson.
Hey MP, how are you? Good to
I'm
be here.
great. Great. So good to see you and your cute
You
face. You
too.
just fresh off the beaches of Nantucket.
I am. I am. We go there's a family every year. Very blessed to do that and just roasted for 2 weeks,
You're,
I needed
well,
it.
I'm obsessed with Nantucket, and I talk about it
I know that.
all the time. And it didn't happen for me this year, but Nantucket is on the 2026 dossier.
And
Yeah.
when you go, you know that you have I can do your whole itinerary for you if you need.
That's
So,
exactly right. I know
yeah.
I got my own Nantucket, travel agent.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
No, free of charge. So,
Oh, thank you. I didn't even think you would charge me. But the pictures where every time you see your pictures of, like, the old Jeeps and everything, just because I read
oh
all those
yeah.
books about Nantucket, I'm like, "Oh, I wanna go so bad."
Yeah, it's just as like charming and quaint as it sounds and looks. It's my favorite place in the world. It really is. It's
Is
just,
it crowded, though? Is it crowded?
August is much more crowded. We go in July. August is
Yeah.
much more crowded, and it is
Okay.
crowded. But we stay in town, which kind of makes it so like parking isn't as much of an issue because like if you stay out of town, you have to drive in and then find parking. We stay in
Uh,
town and we walk everywhere, and then you have to drive to the beach, obviously. But it's definitely crowded, but you find ways to just like we have it. It's sort of a well-oiled machine for us when we go there now. We
yeah,
we know
yeah.
when to make the reservations, where to go when, and it's just we have it figured out. But August is definitely the most crowded, I think, and we avoid that if we can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whenever we were thinking about going, it was gonna be, like, in May, because I was like, "I'm gonna do, like, May or September." So the weather's
Yeah.
still okay, but it's not zillions of people, but also wanna make sure things are open, because I know here on Bald Head Island, in the off season, the hours aren't so consistent with the stores
Yeah,
and the
I've heard
shops
that
and stuff.
September is an amazing time to be in Nantucket. I've heard that is like
Mhm.
a very optimal because things are open still, but there's less of a rush, obviously, and it's still very nice and warm. May, I
Mhm.
think, is like a hit or miss in terms of weather, but it's
Mm.
definitely not as crowded. So take your
Okay.
pick.
Well, when I, get around to January 2026, that's when
hmm
I start my planning frenzy, and,
Well, I'll be waiting for that text message. So.
okay. Okay, Gibson, let's talk. Are you following this Kelley Wolf situation on Instagram?
So okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I write for E News a couple days a week. I write
Okay.
like news articles for them.
Yeah.
I get assigned things basically, and I just churn out articles.
Yeah.
And I when that was first happening, I wrote a few articles about that for them because I honestly didn't even really know who they. I was not familiar with
Mm.
them.
Mhm.
Um, but there was like that Instagram live of her getting arrested, right, or something
Mhm. Well, that
originally.
was one of them. Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
but I have not kept up with it in recent weeks. What's the latest in that?
Well,
It's dark.
she still does a lot of lives, and it's
Okay.
a lot of, grandiose, I speak 6 languages. I have a degree in nuclear physics and psychology and this.
Mm.
It's a lot of grandiose, like, everybody loves me, nobody's ever not liked me, and yes, I kissed so and so's husband, and she doesn't like me anymore, but she's only one of 10 people in the world that don't love me. And yesterday, I beat a 27-year-old in a foot race, and, this week, I mean, you're like, "What?"
Huh.
Uh-huh. And then she did have the police here in the last week, going with her to her home where she was trying to, like, get in to get her things. And so now it was where people were commenting under it like, "Go girl, da 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 da." Now 20,000 people may watch it, but nobody comments. Nobody
Mm.
ever comments. And this one where she had the police and was trying to get into the house, it was like taking the screens off and, like, trying to get in the house. Her son, who's like 15, 16, wrote under it, "This is literally insane, mom. What are you doing?" And that's
Ugh.
hard.
Yeah, that's hard. I feel like the
That's
people
rough.
know not. That's when you know, and also the people not commenting tells me that like everyone kind of knows it's probably like a mental health situation that's unfolding, and
Yes.
it's like
Mm.
you kind of can't look away, but also like you don't want to say anything like too insensitive or too like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's kind of one of these things where it's like she's putting it out there, right? But like,
Nonstop, nonstop
yeah, but
posting.
like, what do you actually say in response to it? You
Right.
know?
Today's post, which was probably one of the least sensical ones. She says a lot of nonsensical ones, but at least like the grammar is correct. Today's post that the one I saw this morning was pretty nonsensical with bad grammar. And she is again for the second time calling on Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is somebody she calls on. She hasn't called on him in a few weeks, but she started calling on him today.
Were they connected in the past? Do we know?
No. She
Okay.
doesn't know him.
Okay, so it's not, because it's not like, for example, like with Britney Spears, like she'll mention Justin Timberlake, she'll mention Christina Aguilera, all like here and there, but those are people. It's sort of the implication there is that like she still holds on to some of these things from like 20 years ago or whatever. But clearly Kelley Wolf is just sort of grasping, and it's sort of random. It's all random.
Another thing she was saying today was like, oh, I'm just, I'm ready to get married again. Like, giddy up. Who's gonna, I don't like to be single. I mean, it was, it's like that.
And she just but didn't she just get divorced from?
And I don't even know if they are divorced, actually.
Right. It's like that. It's like that was like a fresh split, I feel like. And now, that's dark.
It's dark and it's rough, and it's sort of like, I got kicked out of this hotel and I couldn't believe it. I've been coming here for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. And then the next, it's like, this is my favorite hotel in the world. They do everything for me there. They feed me champagne in the morning. And you're like, well, you just said you got kicked, huh? So it's trying to make sense of it, and there's no point, but it is a lot of, this afternoon, I'm going to buy a property because me and my family, we preserve property. So we buy properties to preserve the land, to get them back to their people. And then the next thing she'll say, I have $23 to my name because my husband's cut me off from all my accounts. But that afternoon, she's going to buy a property. So it's sort of like,
and then she'll also say like, oh no, like I forget the guy's name. We're good. Like we're not like, but clearly they're at odds. Clearly they're not good, right?
I believe he is one of the people that she's been on psychiatric calls now twice. And I think once was like her family and friends, and then once was him. And I think the one that he did was because we saw a live where she had her daughter in the car and was like looking out the front window of the car, like into the woods, and was like, we're going camping. And the daughter was clearly like hiding under a blanket, like, don't show me. It was, so I think after that was when she had to get like supervised visitation and stuff like that. It's terrible. But what's interesting is she is a psychiatrist herself.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, and she'll say, oh, they said that I'm grandiose and I'm this, and they said I'm that, and I'm bipolar, and I've been called this, and I'm a drug addict, and da 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 da. She'll say all these things. Oh, this is what they say about me. But then she talks about herself in this grandiose fashion, and talks about she doesn't do drugs, only this certain kind of mushroom by this doctor. And it's just sort of like, you can't make heads or tails of it. But I think I'm watching it to see if it turns out okay. Because like for a while, remember when we watched Katie Rost for a while?
Yeah, she came to mind for sure. Yeah. Amanda Bynes comes to mind. Some of these people who are like sort of in real time were documenting these like clearly like mental breaks, but it's like, and in some ways I feel like watching it, you're almost like keeping your eye on her too. You know what I mean? It's like, in a kind of sick way. It's like, okay, but like she's putting stuff out there. Like if something goes on, like people are going to know immediately, well,
people know where she is because she's constantly posting exactly where she is in real time. And the Katie Ross thing, though, I was always like, today's going to be the day she's going to do a post that says, actually, she's been 5 days sober or what. And then it did come, and she was sober. And I don't know if she still is. I know she just said she married somebody. But it did come where she was like, it's been really hard. I'm 10 days sober. Where we're like, okay, good. So that's kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen with this Kelley Wolf thing. There's going to be some kind of redemption to it.
Yeah, I hope that she stops going live for like a little bit, and then she comes back. She's like, hey guys, like, I've been at a facility or something. Cause like, I mean, 2 psychiatric holds, that's intense. And it's like, okay, maybe they should get her some like more long-term help that sticks.
But they can't hold her after a certain amount of time. Do you know what I mean? Because unless they 5150 her, unless they fully put her into a conservatorship, like you can't hold somebody. And she just gets out and walks around town in her cowboy hats and her long skirts.
Oh my God. I just think about, I mean, maybe it'll take something from the kids, you know what I mean? And they're clearly underage, and I feel bad, but like maybe they will get to her and be like, Mom, like you really need to get help. Like this is not normal.
Yeah, I think anything like that has been like, well, you don't know because I'm a therapist and I have 4 degrees and I speak 6 languages
Yeah,
and
that's
I have
difficult.
and you're like,
Hard to get through to
okay.
her.
Yeah, hard to get through. Um, okay, now what shows are you watching that are not Bravo?
So I just watched Hunting Wives. We watched that in Nantucket with my family. We ate that shit up.
Okay, but were you watching it with your family? I've heard. I haven't watched it, but I've heard it's a lot of sex.
It is a lot of sex, but whatever. Like we're grown. You know what I mean? With
Yeah,
my
no, but
family,
I'm just very
I don't know.
Southern. I don't
It's
want to,
it's very over the top and soapy, and like it knows it's ridiculous and it leans into it. And like we were
Okay.
laughing along, we were also riveted. It was just like kind of the perfect sort of soapy show for me.
Yeah.
And I don't normally watch like the really big Netflix like um, fictional shows, but this one just I love Malin Ackerman and Brittany Snow, the two leads of the show. They're great, and it's like, and also there's not enough sex on TV anymore. Like it's good sexy. It's good sexy to me. I just finished watching that. I watched season 2. I think it's called Bright Happy Shiny People or Bright Shiny People. The first season was about the Duggars and sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing the cult thing they were a part
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And there's a new second season of that. It's just 3 episodes. It's about this thing called Teen Mania, which is like basically this like kind of this Christian group for young people that was in the 90s, and it was huge. They'd have like thousand person conventions, like these huge events, and they like recruited all these young people to like
And
come
was
work
it
at this,
called
like
Teen Mania?
it was called Teen Mania, and then there were the events were called like Acquire the Fire, I want to say, and
Okay.
they made them look like super cool. It was basically like an antidote to, or like a direct reaction to MTV and MTV culture, and like how that was
Okay.
sort of like poisoning the minds of teens. And so like
Sure.
these kids would grow up in these churches and be told that MTV, like they would ask their parents to like take MTV off their TV because they were so scared of it. That was how and so it was basically a direct reaction to that. Then there was like this university they could, like, after they graduated from high school, they could like forego college and go to this training center place. And it was basically like unpaid labor. They paid to go to this place to learn how to, it was under the guise of like mission trips and like helping to be like
Yeah.
sort of training to be like a really good like kind of acolyte in that way. But then they basically were just there and they would like pay to be able to like be part of a call center or do manual labor or whatever. And it was kind of this whole build up thing. So it's 3 episodes, very interesting. I love like a culty
Me too.
docu-series. So that's a good one. It was, the first one was about the Duggars, and so it's sort of like tangentially related.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So same idea. Just finished that the other day, which was big.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
All right. I don't have time to watch anything right now because I'm covering so many shows. And like one show we were covering, Match Me Abroad, I thought it was 6 episodes, but it's 14. So I was like, well,
Ooh, that's a big
crap.
jump.
And now we're always, we're in it. We can't just like quit. So that, and now I'm covering the Valley episodically, and thank the Lord that's almost over.
I know.
So at least that'll take.
It must be over.
But then Love is Blind UK is coming in, and we're covering that. And we covered 4
season
at a
1 was
time.
season 1 was so good. I love is Blind UK. The last season was, and so I'm hoping this one can be as good. God, Love is Blind is such an undertaking. It really is.
It is an undertaking. And then, so when they drop the 4, I get the screeners to the 4 ahead of time. So I have to pre-record 4 episodes. God. When I'm already I told my family, we were coming to the beach this week. I said, this week I have to record 11 episodes. And they're like, we're at the beach. I go, Love is Blind stops for no one.
Reality TV doesn't stop. Yep. Yeah.
I said, I'm sorry. But I will be glad when the Valley is off my plate.
Me too. It's a light Bravo month, which is kind of nice because it's been a lot. Like it's really just OC Miami once the Valley ends for a little bit here.
Do you know when Salt Lake is coming back? Because we've seen some trailers and some previews.
Yeah, I feel like it must be like mid-September is my guess, like early to mid-September.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. Yeah.
Maybe they'll give me screeners. They did give me Salt Lake screeners last year.
Maybe you're still sometimes there's holdover.
Okay, because I have to beg every time. And I did ask for the Valley and was like, look, I'm covering it episode by episode and I would love to get it. And they were like, no. And then I asked another time just if I could get one episode early because I was traveling, and they were like, no. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah, I think it
okay.
depends on I think it really depends on the show, honestly. Like, I don't know. I don't really. There's kind of no rhyme or reason. I don't think I get the Valley screeners. I get OC and Miami. I want to say right now,
Mhm.
it goes in and out of what they give you. So
I know. Well, I've decided I just continue to lower myself and beg, and then,
listen, there's no shame in the game.
that's all I gotta do.
Whatever it takes, whatever it
Whatever.
takes.
Um, Now speaking of the Valley,
Yeah.
thoughts. So what we were thinking we were watching it was something happened during this reunion to say, okay, absolutely, we're going to fire him. Like we weren't thinking we're going to fire him, but now we're going to fire him. So we're kind of like, what was it? Well, in episode 1, all the other stuff we knew about breaking the furniture and the raging out and all that all along. I mean, we on my show, and I'm sure many other people in the world thought something physically happened that they're just not saying.
Mm-hmm.
But domestic violence between the two of them that wasn't the coffee table, which was bad enough. And so finally she did say, well, you threw me into the bushes. Like, oh, no, I didn't. And they're all literally every single person was like, we've seen the ring footage and
Mm-hmm.
you love cameras so much. You should know that it's recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was the first thing that he said. And I was like, okay, I don't know if now
Yep.
that that's
I
been
felt the same way.
said, if they can get past that. And then this week he said, towards the end, he sort of was doing the whole like, my show, my show. I mean, we'd seen him already do it that time when he said my show until Zach said it wasn't for the last month, which was hilarious. And
Mm-hmm.
then we saw the preview for the coming week where they said, you told us that you fired everybody on the show because they got a better edit than you. He's like, what? I don't have that power. And they all go, we know. So I was like, okay, so that's another thing he did. He's once
Mm-hmm.
again trying to say it's his show and he has editing power.
Right. Totally. No, I think it has a lot to do with the Rosebush thing, and it's like if you think about it, like they easily could have edited that out. They clearly didn't want to harp on it because there was no
Mhm.
follow up to that, which was kind of shocking. Like it kind of lands like a thud if that reveal is going to happen and we're not going to follow up on that. Like you were pushing her into a bush, and like also it's like that's one incident that was caught on camera. Were there other incidents that we don't know about? You know what I mean?
Mhm. 'Cause I think
Um,
she's really been trying to protect him, to
I
protect
think
his
so too.
job because they both earn money, you know? Yeah.
I think so too, and I also like. There's obviously an element of like, yeah, I think Brittany's sort of dealing. She's reflecting on everything that she's been through with Jax, and I think that is something that she had confided into her friends with, and I'm so curious if there are other things like that because with this group, I feel like in particular, there's a lot of like we know things they know about that's like, are we going to bring that up now?
Right.
Are we
Mhm.
gonna like that happens a lot
Yeah.
with Janet. That happened with Jasmine and Zach. There was sort of a side thing that happened on this past reunion where she was like, he said or she said, like, go there. Like,
Oh,
um,
she said, "Don't stop, go there."
yeah,
And
yeah.
I
So
was
like,
like
I think there's a lot
and
of
I was
that
like,
kind
"Go
of
where?
stuff.
Go where?"
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they've all
yeah.
known about the spring footage. They didn't bring it up this season, because there was clearly enough to
Mhm.
incriminate Jax at that point, in my opinion. But Brittany brought it up herself, so
Do you think they are going to bring up the season finale party, Michelle's Zen party, where he was so clearly on something?
mm, I hope so.
Steroids,
I
vodka,
hope
but I
so.
mean,
I
he
hope
was
they bring
ordering
up.
straight vodka,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
I hope that Jax gets everything that's coming for him. Like I think that they're like he just can't feel like any of this behavior is rewarded at all or is going to be kept secret at all. Like what are you protecting at this point? And um yeah, the steroids thing is interesting because I feel like that wasn't really part of the conversation until this reunion. I want to say like I
and
don't
why did
remember
and
that
no
really.
follow-up on that either.
Yeah, and I'm also like that roid rage is a thing that we've known about for a very long time in general, and like that could explain or that could be fueling some of the anger that we see in him or that we've heard about from him. And
Mhm.
I would love to explore that more because that feels like something we don't talk about on these shows very often or at all. And if that's part of this equation with him, like I'd like to go there. I actually want to know more about that. And I want to,
Mhm.
because we talk about the cocaine a lot with him and he talked about it on this part of the reunion as well. But like the steroids is an untapped thing, I feel like.
I when she said, "Are you on steroids?" And he said, "No, I'm not." Now we remember back on Vanderpump Rules when Stassi would get mad at him because he's always using that protein powder stuff, and she was mad. And when I tell you that when you see him on the show, and then if you watch the after show, he is so huge. His shirt is straining, like he's huge. Like
on
his
the
neck is
reunion,
huge.
his jacket barely fits on the reunion, and that's not like a shaming thing. It's just sort of like his clothes don't fit him. Like he is bulked. He is bulked up.
He said he gained 30 pounds, I think, because Janet said she lost 70 pounds. He was like, "Oh, I gained 30 pounds." But it's like, but he's not fat. It's, and we know he said, we had an app at one point, some point,
it's muscle, it's bloat, it's muscle bloat, basically.
Yeah. Well, so many great points were made, and I really like this pregnant, calm Kristen, who's just sort of like, talk to him calmly. And she's like, why can't you look her in the eye? And she's like, why can't you lean on, you need to go to a therapist and find 3 things you can do before you rage out and text somebody. Like, she's trying to help him. And so Keisha, who I record with, has never watched Vanderpump Rules at all. So she's coming in the Valley just fresh. And I was like, I wish every time Kristen is trying to help him, what I really want you to remember is these 2 banged when they were in a very close friend group, and they were best friends, and they all banged each other. I was like, so these people have history.
They have history. Yeah. And she has full license from my point of view to say whatever the fuck she wants to him. You know what I mean? She can check him. She can take him down a peg. I think Kristen, more so than anybody other than Brittany, can say whatever the fuck she wants to Jax.
I do love it whenever Zach just chimes in from the end of the couch. I said what we needed was his little face in the corner of the screen, like a commentator.
Like at all times.
At all times, because he would be like, I fucking hate you. Or
like
why does anybody believe him?
Like the people's couch, like built into the Valley reunion.
He's just like, why does anybody believe him? It's just, and I feel bad because Jasmine has like no storyline, and I don't know if I don't think they'll get rid of her because I think she's just a part of their friend group. But Zach has made himself more of a main character, and it's not her fault she doesn't have a storyline, but like she's got to get something going for next season if she wants to stay on.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think with Jasmine, there's been this weird thing this season of like she had this experience with Danny, and I felt as though for a while there on the season, that story was sort of being told for her in a way. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, she finally got a couple moments to tell that and to share her perspective, but like that was after a while of like other people talking about that a lot, like kind of on her behalf. So that was kind of the biggest thing she had going this season. We had a little peek into her relationship with her fiance, but like that's pretty much it. Or her, I forget, are they engaged or
they're engaged?
They're engaged, right? They're engaged. So maybe we get more of her relationship next season. I think that her fiance seems like a nice woman. She doesn't seem like particularly like made for reality TV necessarily.
She's not dying to be on. She's not trying to stir up any drama.
For sure.
Right.
But I do think that they need to find something more for Jasmine to do that's beyond this thing with Danny, for sure.
Yeah, and it was stupid. Like she showed Danny and Nia a house that was smaller than their apartment. I was like, what are we doing?
I will say though, like what encourages me about her is like when she did have that sit down with Danny, and Andy kind of gave her props for this as well on the reunion, is like she presented her point of view extremely well and extremely clearly. And it is a point of view that's not represented very many other places on Bravo. And so like, it's just inherently in that idea, like Jasmine's worth having around, but they just need to like figure out a way to like really kind of bolster that. Because she has past reality TV experience. She was on The Bachelor. So it's like she knows how this all works, but she hasn't felt completely comfortable yet, in my opinion.
I can't remember what show I heard it on, but somebody else said she was on The Bachelor and she was on something else. And I was like, she's been on 2
Was
other
it Bachelor
shows?
in Paradise? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I was like, wow, look at her.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So do you think Jax did leave his bar on his own volition, or it was like his contract was up and they didn't renew it, and then he's trying to say he's working on his mental health because he wants to get his job back?
There's no way he left on his own volition. Are you kidding me?
What's he going to do with all that merch?
Yeah, what the merch? He needs the money. That's a point of pride. You know what I mean? I mean, I always come back to the fact that first season of The Valley, he made some comment to Schwartz of like, you know, everybody says when you open a bar or restaurant, you're gonna get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck it, I'm so like he basically was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm still gonna open it.
Yeah.
Well, a year later, look where your marriage is.
Yeah.
No, I
He
know I
said
don't
that
believe anything he
he
says.
said that a lot. He said about Tom Sandoval, he was like, yeah, you know, when the Scandal was going on, Jax was sort of making the rounds on
Right.
shows and podcasts and stuff. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
was on Juicy Scoop. He said, yeah, I mean, I told Sandoval, like, you're doing the two things that'll kill your relationship, open a restaurant and be in a rock band. Those are the two things that'll kill your relationship. And there he's doing one of them. And, you know, if he started a rock band, it wouldn't surprise me either.
Oh my God. I mean, at this point, it's like he doesn't have the show, he doesn't have the bar. His cameo. You know, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, I guess Cameo. I guess he could like lower his price a little bit and do them in bulk, you know?
Hey, Mary Payne, he could go back to his other dream job of being a social media manager for a regional hockey team in Florida. Remember
That's
that?
right. That's
Yeah,
a job that was never
that's a
true.
path. That's a
So,
path. Yeah.
yeah, he's so great at social media. His spelling is always so on point, and he never messes that up at all. So that would be,
Never.
yes, he's one
No.
to look for.
And he doesn't have any burner accounts like that are
No.
Jax Taylor fans, you know?
Mm-mm.
Yep.
He's a legend. So Denise Richards. Okay, so this is speaking of dark. This is also getting
Yeah.
darker. Um, I think generally people of the world in general can agree that we believe Denise and we don't believe Aaron.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe Denise on the physical situation, the abuse situation. I absolutely
Hmm.
believe that. I don't think she's like making up the fact that she has black eyes. Like there are photos,
Yeah.
and she pointed to that time when she was on a red carpet and she had her bruise. She had forgotten to hide the bruises on her arms. Like they're clearly like that was happening. That's very clear to me. I think one thing I do believe Aaron on is that she was having an affair with this guy from Special Forces.
Yeah. That's probably true. Yeah.
Like I don't think he made that up, and he did. But like he's out here like he gave all those photos of their text messages to the Daily Mail, and like that feels icky to me. Like just like kind of texting them to the Daily Mail editors,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
just feels.
Yeah.
So he's trying to play the media game, as is she. But he's not gonna. I don't think he's ever gonna really convince me to be on his side. You know, I'm Team Denise in this.
Yeah. And there was something that came out in the last couple of days about her going over to one of the homes that she owns,
Mm-hmm.
and to get her dogs, and that his parents were afraid of her, and that
Oh my god, I saw that.
she found out that he put down one of her dogs without asking her. And I mean,
Oh, I didn't see that.
yes, that
No.
that was one of the reasons she went over there to get the dogs, was because she found out that he put
He
down one of her
killed her
dogs.
dog? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Now maybe the dog was really sick and it was time,
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't
but
matter.
you let her know the dog is really sick and I'm taking him to
Oh
the
my
vet.
god,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
that's why she went over there, even though she's not
oh, I
supposed to
missed
go
that
over
detail.
there. Yeah, because of the
Got it.
restraining, she's not supposed to go over there. But
Mm,
it's she owns the homes, and she went to get her
that's
other
sickening.
dog for fear of what would happen.
Of course. Oh my god, that's disgusting, and I totally
It's
believe he would do something like that.
me
There's
too.
always something in there, you know, with him,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
like that a flip could switch with him, and we all. I mean, we don't have to rehash it, but we all know the scene from when he was on the show, and like it's just
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
none of this is surprising me,
Yeah.
but it does make me sad.
It makes me sad too, but I mean, he seems to be sort of a conspiracy theorist, and people are following me, and you don't know anything about pharmaceuticals. And it was interesting when she had her one season, Denise in the Wild Thing show, that she was saying, like, she goes to get Botox only twice a year, and she's sort of afraid of, plastic surgery and stuff. And I was like, I can't imagine Aaron would let you get plastic Botox at all.
I
It
know,
seems like
I
that would be
know,
such poison. He won't even let you take an Advil. What are you talking about?
totally,
Yeah.
That's such a good point. That's such a good
Hmm.
point.
I was
Hmm.
like, that's interesting. Well, anyway, that's going to play out and it's going to be messy. And I will tell you, I just listened to Emily D. Baker podcast, and she did a whole section on the back and forth between the two of them. And
Hmm.
from a law standpoint, it was pretty interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
I'm gonna listen to that.
yeah, and her whole thing was him releasing nude photos and stuff from her computer that he took. That's California has the strictest revenge porns. It doesn't matter if it was for public consumption to go on OnlyFans or people are paying for it. If it's like unreleased stuff and he took it off her computer and was posting it, then he's in like more trouble than you can even imagine, which he did that too.
Yeah. I mean, so I was shocked at some of the stuff that were in those photos from, not shocked because she sent them to somebody really, but more shocked that he took pictures of them and put them in the media. Like that was.
But see, that's where you get in trouble.
Icky.
That's the whole thing with like Tom Sandoval and Ariana and her taking the video of Raquel, even though Tom had taken the video. It's like two people took. I mean, you know, it's just like,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. I think we need to all go back into the dark ages. No phones, no texting. Just see somebody and say something in person.
That's probably a good idea, but
on these shows, because listen, we're like Miami. We've got the same thing happening in Miami with Guerdy putting out those text messages from Julia,
right.
which what do the text messages even say? Is it just like, thanks for coming on the boat with me, and why didn't I have a seat, and Martina had cancer? What was it?
I interviewed Guerdy last week, and in her mind, like the contents of the texts weren't really the issue necessarily. Like it didn't really matter what it was proving, I guess, her point from like whatever the cruise thing, which I don't even really care about. I think it's a way too convoluted and old. Like it's literally from the end of 2013. Like, let's move forward. You know what I mean?
No, not 2013, 2023.
Sorry, 2023. Yeah,
because I was like, what? Wow.
No, sorry, not 2023 and not 2023.
Yeah. Okay.
But she was basically like, yeah, like it was wrong place, wrong time, but she activated me, and I just needed to show that I was right. It weren't like incriminating necessarily. They just proved her point about whatever this cruise thing was, which nobody really cares about.
Right.
So, yeah.
I will say that last week, I talked to Tess and Brooke of Psych Legal Pop about what was going on in Miami, and 100, maybe 10 people. I was going to say hundreds, maybe 10 people, but several people wrote me, and somebody even wrote me today. I was like, I just listened to it, and you forgot to mention that Julia threw the glass of water at Guerdy. And I did. I forgot to mention that because I was like, I don't quite even understand where the fight came from. Like, I understand, like, you didn't sit me at the right table at an event, or if Martina couldn't come, why I couldn't be interested. I get all of that. But I did forget about the water throwing.
Yeah, it's all about the water. It's all about the water splash. Yeah. And then also there was the whole thing about the Zoom of her,
right?
Guerdy not signing on to the Zoom about her sharing the adoption news. But it is all about the water splash and her,
which was weird and out of the blue.
Weird, out of the blue, performative. And then Guerdy also told me that she thinks that Julia was sort of like working overtime between seasons to like get people to kind of build up her alliances in the group with like Alexia and Marysol, just to sort of bolster her side of whatever they had going on or brewing. And so I just think that Julia is sort of overplaying her hand and trying to sort of establish power for herself on this cast and on the show. And it's not authentic. It's not landing for me. And she's like pretty unrecognizable from the person she was 3 years ago when she was milking goats on her
so
farm.
Sweet. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just not, there's a total disconnect for me. And like, I don't know. And I just think
is it trying to stay on the show? So you're trying to like, be more
definitely, it's not even, I think it's like she saw, Nicole's not back. So then Guerdy is sort of like, kind of isolated, right? Like she doesn't have, like Nicole was sort of Guerdy's bridge. Nicole has had a history with Alexia, with Larsa, with all these, with some other people. So it sort of gives Julia, and Julia had already been sort of cuddling up with Alexia, and now she has Marysol with her. Yeah. And so like there was this opportunity for her to sort of slide in and ascend in the ranks, if you will. And I also actually just interviewed Adriana yesterday. So I've done a lot of Miami interviews recently. And Adriana said the same thing. She's like, it's all about the show. It's all about sort of ascending in the ranks and being with the cool girls and just like, stepping on people to get to the top from their perspective. And that tracks for me in a lot of ways. I don't know.
This last episode on the yachts, when Adriana was so drunk, it was hilarious to me. First of all, I love Marysol. I'm ride or die Marysol. Marysol could do anything. Marysol could do anything.
Marysol, by the way, one of the chicest dressers of any Housewives franchise. She always looks so chic. I love it.
She nails it. She nailed it at that white party for Guerdy. She like in that little kind of like everything she wears, I'm always screenshotting and putting into my Google Lens. Like, give me a look for less, like dupe.com. Like, I need it. Even though, I mean, I'm a regular size person, but I'm 3 times her size. I mean, she is so tiny.
She is itty bitty. Yeah, she's itty
Yeah.
bitty. Yeah.
She's a little elfin. But I love her, and I love that Marysol was like, "No, I don't wanna be on a boat with Adriana." Like, "Oh my god, I don't wanna." And then Adriana got drunk and got mad, like, "Why did you wanna be on the boat with me?" And she's calling her
That was
wrinkly
perfect.
knees. And
No.
then
That episode, Mary Payne, was a perfect episode of Real Housewives, if you ask me. Like, it was
so funny.
It was so deeply unserious, but like they still had drama. They still like I was cracking up. Adriana on the other boat yelling across the boat, and then they all left her, but then she was still talking to the staff on the boat. Like, it was just or when they were squirting the water gun in her in her mouth, like she was.
They were like, "Don't get me wet." It was like Ramona Singer, don't. Who are you to get me wet?
It was very that. It was very that.
Now, what thoughts on Stephanie? Because I did have a listener send me a bunch of stuff about Stephanie's husband being like in full foreclosure, and that house she's showing is like they fully don't own it anymore. Like the bank owns it, and I was like, "What's happening there? Is this another scammer situation on
that kind of
Housewives?"
stuff? That kind of stuff, I'm like, I take with a grain of salt until like I don't know. I feel like she's been on for like 5 episodes. Like, they're filming the reunion tomorrow. Like, let's. Like that's percolating out there. So like I'm sure it'll be brought up at the reunion. Let's see how she reacts to it, honestly. I don't really do a lot of the like stuff that bubbles up on the Reddit because I'm just sort of like it's just too sort of dark webby to me. But
also
there's clearly a lot there.
Yeah,
and there's also there's clearly a lot there though. Like, there's clearly something happening. I just don't really need to make sense of it myself. But you always do have to like take a step back or pause when somebody new comes onto a housewife show and like projects so much wealth. You know what I mean? Like, just like that can't be touched. You always have to like kind of squint a little bit, right?
Yeah. It's her showing, Adriana where her closet will be, and this will be my wall for my Birkins, and the ceilings are 40 feet, and all this stuff. And I had to move the pool because I didn't want to like look at the pool. If you have move the pool money, like just tear the house down, start over. Like, what are you doing? It was crazy. And for her to be like, this will be my wall of Birkins, this will be this. I was like, it reminds you of the phrase, money screams and wealth whispers.
Yes.
It's like, girl, stop. Like, how about it's sort of like Dr. Nicole in the way that they are so rich. Like, she is so rich, but you never really see her talk about it. She wouldn't be like, look at my wall of Birkins.
Yeah, it's like the way they talk about their money is so different. It's so different. Like, I think Stephanie presents as having the same amount as Dr. Nicole and Anthony, but Nicole was very she said it with like a twinkle in her eye, you know what I mean? Like, she would give with a wink, but she wouldn't straight up be like, yeah, we paid $500,000 for that, or we paid $6 million for that. Like, she didn't. That was not the way that she really talked, unless she was pressed to give an answer sometimes. But yeah, they definitely. That's a good dichotomy there, and to compare how they talked about their money.
Well, because I saw Nicole this week, and I was like, I love her. And Guerdy was like, what are we doing to get you back into the friend group? What are we doing to get you back on this show so I don't have to do it by myself? I was like, yes, Guerdy, you're all of us. We need her back on the show. Yeah.
But I think that the Guerdy Julia thing, like, it's sort of like that's the direction that Nicole would not want the show to go in. That is not like, that's not enticing her to come back to the show. That whole thing.
Interesting that Stephanie used to date Anthony too, huh?
I know. A very long time ago, but and you could tell, like, Nicole, I think, dropped out of the season pretty close to production. And so I think that, they clearly wanted the Stephanie Nicole thing to be a thing this season. They lost something in that. I still think it's been a great season, but they wanted that to be a thing. And so now they're playing nice in the press.
But what about, who did Nicole say? Somebody, she said, had put out a PI to like research her. Marysol, come on. I just talked about how great you are. Don't do that.
That's who Nicole alleges hired a private investigator on her. I think Marysol really wants them to be full-time.
And why
And
isn't she? She's there for. She's like Luann when Luann was part time. She's in every scene.
I think it's just because she doesn't have that much personal storyline going on. She's gotten married like 4 times to the same guy. Like there's not much else going on. Mama Elsa's not around anymore. R.I.P.
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest reason why Adriana and Marysol aren't. I think Kiki originally wasn't because I don't think they foresaw her being such a star and such a hit with fans, and that's why she's like every season, like her sort of her space on the show has gotten bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
like I kind of think I think if anybody gets one, it would be her. Like I think she's sort of on track
Kiki.
to sort of build and build and build. Whereas I think Marysol and Adriana, I would love to see them get mojitos. Don't get me wrong, but like I think they're fantastic as they are. You know what I mean? Like and it's also a money thing for sure.
Well, like I told you, I mean, I started watching Miami from season 1 after Marysol and Alexia were on Ultimate Girls Trip because I was like, I've never watched Miami, but I love these two, and now I feel like I have to.
Yeah, it's a good watch from the beginning, especially season 2 and season 3 are very good episodes, very good seasons of.
Let me tell you something. That Larsa, when I started watching it, and I knew what the current cast looked like, and when I was watching it with Larsa and Scottie Pippen and all that, I was like, is that the same girl? Like I was so confused. And she talked so awfully about like her staff and stuff. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna age well. This isn't gonna age well.
It didn't age well. No, I think most of that season doesn't age very well. Yeah. There's also Leah Black of it all. Yeah, those were good days of this show.
Leah Black being best friends with what's the guy? The Girls Gone Wild, Joe Francis. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. And there was the drag queen drama too. That one drag queen that was around.
Oh yes.
Remember?
None of that aged well. You're so
no, it did not age well.
Eek. All right, let's quickly talk about the OC. So Gretchen is back, and I didn't like the Mean Girls talking about how she looks like a filter. Even when she's out in the world, she still looks like a filter. I mean, it's true, but I didn't like them sitting around and like cackling about it.
Yeah. What I think that I was fine with was like the editing of her photos, which can be like crazy sometimes. Like it's like that is like you have to laugh at that. Yeah. But I agree. The saying that she looks like that in real life, I'm like, that's just low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Like find something more creative, honestly.
It's crazy this week when they had, Joe come in and all that. And then we kept seeing like old Slade and new Slade. New Slade's hair is like, it's like he's a Las Vegas lounge singer. It's like swoops up and over. And I didn't realize it until we saw old Slade when he had regular hair. I was like, is he trying to cover something? Because he's got it so like he had to work on that hairdo.
He did. And I think it's still a work in progress. Let's just say that.
She did refer to Slade as her husband on the show, but then later they showed him in the kitchen with the daughter, and it said Slade, Gretchen's life partner. But she did refer to him as my husband.
I feel like that is. I bet you they're. What do you think that means? Do you think that means they're secretly married?
No, because I don't think she would get secretly married.
They just use the terms. Yeah,
they just use the terms.
Yeah,
and maybe it could be a legal thing, his ex-wives and whatnot. I'm not thrilled that she's back. I don't really care so far. I don't feel like she's bringing anything. I am more interested in that whole Katie thing and how everybody's kind of turned on Katie, but then everybody kind of turned on Emily after the reunion, and it's sort of like, oh, where do we go? Because also, I don't like that Emily's brought this thing up about her 10-year-old son on camera, even though I'm sure production told her she should. I kind of don't like it because he's only 10. So I don't like that.
I think that Emily had a really bad reunion last year. I hated I hated when she brought all that stuff up. I thought it was like so besides the point and like so punching down, like everything about it just like did not land well at all, and it made her look really bad. And I think that she's having this season now where like she's kind of continuing to go full force, and it's just not really coming off the way that she thinks it's going to come off. I think that she's kind of high on her own supply right now. And it's not, and that's not to say that like I am buying all of what Katie's selling either. Like there's a lot of smoke there in terms of like, she got in way over her head as a housewife. She was clearly corresponding with a lot of these different fan accounts and as they call
Yes.
them, bloggers or podcasters, whatever term you want to use. Like the bloggers feels very 2012 to me.
I'm always like, who is a blogger? Are you trying to say like Kiki Monique, who we both know is a blogger? I don't think so.
Right.
That's so insulting.
No, she's a host. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, now this is the third thing that's come up about her corresponding with these people. And it's like, and that's on top of the paparazzi thing from last year where she was in correspondence with the head paparazzi guy. So it's like, there's a lot of that. And like, clearly she thought that was sort of what the game was. And it's like, if you're going to do that, which I believe a lot of them do that.
Yeah.
Don't get caught. Be smart about it. Like all of them have their preferred people that they talk to, I'm sure. But like it sounds like she was like doing outreach to people. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it's sort of, it sucks that I do when Katie has her like personal scenes and things. I'm like, I really like you. I'm like, I really like, there are so many things to like about Katie, but then like you turn the corner and it's like, well, you were talking shit about us to Kiki Monique, or you were calling Bravo Babe, or you were, and it's like, how much of this did she do? Is it all out there yet?
Yeah. I mean, I know people personally that she reached out to and then later blocked them and then later unblocked them and apologized for blocking them. And these people are like, girl, I don't know you. Like, what?
Yeah, she messaged me. Did I tell you this?
No, that doesn't surprise me.
She messaged me after I talked about her on my podcast. Nothing too crazy. It was like 30 minutes into the show, and 3 hours after the episode came out, I got a message from her. And it was just like, you got to be above the fray a little bit more than that if you're going to be on Real Housewives.
Yeah, and you don't need to listen to all the podcasts either, because like, again, you can't have enough time. There's so many podcasts,
No, it's just like, be better off just like being yourself on these shows. Don't care about what the accounts are really posting about you. Like, it's obviously easier said than done, but I don't know. She just has dug herself into such a hole that I'm just curious.
Don't play in the off season, right? It's off season. Like you're not, don't. Yeah. Well, I do like her husband, and I like how he just like rides so hard for her.
Too.
He's like,
Me too.
Like whatever they're saying, I was like, are you not? Oh, it's okay. I think her personal story with the kids and all of that, I think it's something a lot of people could relate to. And I think that that's interesting. And I think she kind of didn't have to do that. I'm going to record this on my phone. I think it was Emily that was on Watch What Happens Live. Randy was like asking about the recording, the Shannon having the meltdown, and did she remember? And she goes, no, I don't remember. I've known Shannon for a long time. I've seen a lot of meltdowns. I don't know, that particular one doesn't stand out. Shannon has a lot of meltdowns all the time.
And that's a perfect answer. You know what I mean? And that tracks. Clearly Katie was sort of like shocked by it or whatever. But again, it's like, and that talk about, apparently that's technically illegal as well. Shannon didn't have consent to be recorded. And it's like, I don't know. And also I just feel like she's told different stories about that. It's like, did she play it for Alexis and them when they were on their triple date? Or did she just talk about it? Or did she only send it to her husband? Like we've heard 3 different explanations for it. And that's also part of her issue. She can't stick to a story. Yeah.
All of that is the issue. And I don't know. I do think she'll have I was surprised she was back on this season. Honestly, I was like, oh, she's not going to want to come back, or they're going to say like, it's too messy. But that she came on back, and that's probably a good thing because she is propelling a lot of the storylines. And we've got, Tamara out there still fighting with Jen. I'm like, come on.
The thing is, though, I think that they're such good adversaries because Jen can hold her own. Like that scene of them sitting down at that Mexican restaurant, they didn't even order anything. They had chips and didn't eat them and left. Like that was that scene, that argument, it just worked. Like their dynamic is so tense, but like they can both take it to each other, and they don't really back down to one another.
Yeah,
I know that like Tamara needs to like let the mouse go. But I love Jen as an adversary for her. I think that because I love Jen Pedronchi. I think that she's
a good housewife.
I like almost everything about her. Like it's really.
I like how she came in and Tamara goes, "How are you doing? I have that belt." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I have it too." And then they start the whole thing about only on Housewives will a conversation be had about somebody's hair extensions being put into somebody else's head.
Which is just so, and it's like, and I totally believe Jen's explanation for that. Like, like Tamara tried to present it as this like creepy weird thing if she wants to be me, and it's like, like we were just fucking around because they were laying around at the hair salon that we both go to. Like they didn't put them in my head. Like it's not that serious, not that crazy. Like Of course Tamara did that. And
it's so funny. He's like, I'm trying to soak up the essence of you by putting your hair in my head. I'm
like what?
But only on
So
Housewives. And I also did enjoy that Terry Dubrow was stoned out of his mind at the party. I enjoyed that as well. Yeah.
It's very much like, give us more of that, Terry. Like I like to see the like we need more we need less buttoned up Dubrow moments sometimes, and that was a great one. I totally agree.
Him not talking about how rich he is all the time.
Yeah, but like, okay, the throwing the glasses at the gong, like imagine being at a party, like a cocktail party, and you're like trying to have conversations, and every 5 seconds somebody's like throwing a glass at a gong across the room. I was confused by that. I didn't understand that. I
mean, as it was a plastic glass that they were throwing, but it was
maybe they were adding glass noises, at least if they weren't actually glass.
I think of the mess that would make, because it would go all over the room. I know,
it's dangerous. I agree.
And every time they walk, it's like,
it was weird. So disruptive.
Do you think that they'll bring Jo in as a friend of and test her back out?
You know, I don't know. Like, I think it depends on how well Gretchen performs the rest of the season. I think all signs point to her performing at least better than Alexis did. Yeah. And admittedly, that bar is underground. So there's, the only way to go from there was up. But to me, like, I like the instinct of Tamara bringing Jo to that event, but like, it didn't really do anything. You know what I mean?
No, because nobody's mad at Jo. Nobody hates Jo.
Yeah, it was sort of like, and I think that Jo, I talk sometimes about like old school, like new housewives who kind of give old school housewives, like Angela Oakley to me is that in a really good way. Whereas like Jo to me is somebody, nothing not to like about her, but I'm sort of like, if they added her back, like I kind of feel like she's sort of stuck in the early days of the show versus old school in a helpful way to the show. So I don't know. Like I wasn't convinced by that little cameo she made.
Yeah, I wasn't either. And also I didn't even recognize her. Bring back Gina Keogh. That's who we need. No, I'm just kidding. Unless she's doing something great, then do bring back Gina.
Listen,
Gina.
But here's the thing. I feel like the show, other than its reliance this season on like too many bloggers, podcasters, fan accounts, like there's too much of that. Otherwise, I like love the state of OC. I think it's like it's in a healthy place as a franchise. So I'm like, you don't need to fuck with it that much either. You know what I mean? Just like let it ride. Like there's a lot of interesting group dynamic stuff happening right now.
Oh, people hate Tamara so bad. I just don't hate her as much as everybody
else. I'm not there. No, I'm not there with her either. No,
everybody's like, Tamara's the worst. I'm like, I don't know. She's such good TV. I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry. She helped save the show. So like
always, yeah, I think so too.
Like it's just, she goes too far, and there's a lot of stunts that get pulled, and so she should rein that in a little bit. But like, I'm sorry, she knows what she's doing, and she also doesn't care. She doesn't care to be liked. So, and I appreciate that about her. I appreciate that about her.
If I was on any of these shows, I wouldn't have one friend. I would never tell one person anything ever, because you can't text something, you can't say something. Someone's going to bring it up 3 years later. You know.
Right. No, I mean, that's a tense way to live. Now they're all realizing they can't even text each other, because like then they're gonna the screenshots are gonna be Guerdy's releasing screenshots.
Yeah.
You know, Katie, all her screenshots are being released. Like Denise's screenshots. Like you can't be texting, I guess, if you're a housewife. You just got to be sending voice notes that expire.
Voice notes that expire. Yeah. And you see if somebody saves and you go to their house and rip their phone out of their hand.
Literally. Yeah.
Well, Gibson, we have to wrap it up, but tell everybody where they can find you and your fun podcast. I did see your clip that you put up on social media of Guerdy, where she like teared up. It was really,
she was emotional over the Julia stuff. I've been doing a lot of Miami interviews recently. My show is called Gabbing with Gib, twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, sometimes more, wherever you get this great podcast. And you can follow me at Gibsonoma on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, wherever. TikTok. So those are the plugs.
Why is your Instagram name Gibsonoma?
Because in sixth grade, a good friend of mine started calling me that because there was a Williams-Sonoma catalog sitting there, and it just she started calling me that, and it just stuck. And then when it came time to, I feel like the first time I used it as a username was when Twitter came around, which was like beginning of like middle of high school for me.
Yeah.
I just used that because that's what she was calling me, and I just kept using it. So
I'm just like, you think that you live in Sonoma, but you don't.
Nope.
No.
It's literally just like a childhood nickname from a friend that I think is kind of chic.
It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
All right, everybody follow Gibson and go listen to his podcast. He has some great interviews over there, Gabbing with Gib. And please remember to follow me as well at Pink Shade Pod. And I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.